Good afternoon. I'm Cleveland Johnson, and I'm here to talk to you about the DDSAnalytics Talent Management EDA. Today, we're going to talk about how we're using our data set to answer the following questions. What does that data set look like? Are we able to remove observations or variables right at the beginning before we even start to look at relationships across that data? What factors lead to attrition? Are we able to identify the top three? Can we build a model to predict attrition? And then also, what factors lead to contribute to monthly income? And can we build a model to predict that monthly income? Within the 870 observations, we actually found no missing values, which was pretty impressive. The 36 variables are broken down into 19 continuous variables and 17 categorical variables, 8 which are ordinal and 9 which are nominal. As we looked at the data set, we found that there were 3 variables we could remove before even starting our analysis. Our first one was standard hours, where all observations had a value of 80. Over 18, all observations had a value of capital Y. And the employee count, all observations had a value of 1. So these variables we removed before we even started our analysis. As we jumped into attrition, we looked at the continuous variables, and of the 19 continuous variables, there were 5 that their box plots as it relates to attrition showcased a potential difference. And then after running a t-test, as you can see in the table in the bottom right, we were able to determine that these 5 do in fact have statistically significant different means as it relates to whether someone attrited or did not. Monthly income was the most significant. Least significant was years at company. As we delved into categorical variables, we used the chi-square test to determine if there was significance. Ultimately, what we found were 5 variables that would actually be significant, and they were pretty much in the top 5, with overtime being at the top and marital status being the bottom. One of the interesting things that you see about marital status that jumped out was married and singles have a high attrition rate or a higher attrition percentage versus divorce rate, which was less than 5%. Ultimately, the top 3 factors that we found with the chi-square test was overtime, job role, and job involvement as it contributed to attrition. When we started to build the model for attrition, we decided to do a forward selection approach where we started with our 3 categorical variables of overtime, job role, and job involvement, and then started to layer in our top 2 from the continuous variables, monthly income and total working years, and then from there started to layer in our categorical and continuous alternatively till we got to a specificity that was above 60%. We actually found that with these 7 variables, we could maintain our specificity of 62%, and any additional variables that were added did not change the specificity for us. So as you can see, specificity 62, sensitivity 88%, and accuracy 84%. As we delve into monthly income, we looked at categorical variables first, and with the categorical variables, we're really trying to find something that can showcase what the differences between income were. Job level, as you can see in that upper left box plot, is a very great example of what we want to see for a regression equation. Job role was interesting as well. That would be something that we will look at. But education and education field, while they seem promising, we don't believe that we will be including them in the final model. As we looked at continuous variables and we looked at scatter plots across all of the continuous variables as it relates to monthly income, found that, as you can see by the regression line, that we had years at company, total working years, and age were highly correlated, and there are some that just had a weak correlation that I'm not showing here, but I will show you in this next graph, which is the correlation matrix. And what you see here is that monthly income and total working years has the highest correlation for monthly income, followed by really years at company and age. So those are the three, as you can see in our previous graph, that we would be looking at as we started to step into our regression model. Ultimately, what we found was our regression model only needed two variables, total working years and job level. At this level, we had a 0.93 R-square and we had an RMSE of $1,262. In the interest of parsimony, we chose to stop here. And in summary, we've taken our data set, we removed 3 variables from consideration out of the 36 right out the gate. 10 variables were considered for the attrition prediction model, 5 categorical, 5 continuous. The final attrition prediction model had 7 variables, 4 categorical, 3 continuous, with a sensitivity of 88% and a specificity of 62%. 7 variables considered for the salary model, at 4 were categorical and 3 were continuous, and ultimately the final salary model had 2 variables, 1 each in the categorical and continuous. The R-square for that was a 0.93, and RMSE was $1,262. That is all we have today for the presentation. Thank you very much. Have a great day.